Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Tom Johnson begins now.
Good evening, everyone. A Rugby home has been destroyed after fire ripped through the property overnight. Police believe the blaze was deliberately lit and are calling for witnesses to come forward.
Neighbours awoke around 4 a.m. to find the home on Ben Boyd Circle spewing smoke and flames. Firefighters scrambled to the scene, attacking the fire from outside and inside the building.
Crews from Clarence, Hobart and Rugby responded. When they arrived, the structure was fully involved.
By morning, investigators were left with a blackened shell to pick through. While an exact cause hasn't been determined, police believe the blaze is suspicious.
The early stage of the investigation would indicate that the fire would be deliberately lit.
The property had been vacant for some time. Luckily, the inferno didn't spread to nearby homes. Public assistance has already proved valuable.
Door knocks have been conducted and statements obtained from witnesses who were first on the scene in relation to the fire and who contacted Tas Fire Service.
The total cost of the blaze remains unknown. It's the second time the house has been torched in a matter of months. Anyone with information should contact police. Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
Meanwhile, a wave of cancellations has hit flights between Tasmania and Melbourne after Victoria was declared high risk. Multiple inbound and outbound flights were cancelled in Hobart and Launceston today. 2 Jetstar flights to Melbourne have been cancelled for tomorrow. Virgin has also grounded another 2 flights on Monday. The late Michelle Fish is among 3 new inductees into the Tasmanian Motorsport Hall of Fame. The Formula V champion was one of 3 drivers celebrated in a special ceremony held at Symmons Plains today.
The Tasmanian Motorsport Hall of Fame holds a special part in the hearts of the racing community.
Tasmania's got a very rich history in motorsport, and I think it's important that we've got to acknowledge the people that have made such a wonderful contribution to the sport over many, many years.
And now, 3 more names have been added to the illustrious list of greats. Father and son duo, Graham and David Parsons, are inducted, as well as the second woman, the late Michelle Fish.
As a driver, she attacked life in the same description as she drove. She was if it was there to do, she just got out and did it.
In January, she died following a long battle with cancer. She found out about her induction shortly before.
I guess it was a bright spot in years of torment.
Fish, famous for her exploits in the Formula V category, was the first woman to win any Tasmanian circuit racing championship.
There was no gender. Car racers are car racers. They're not a car man or a car girl, they're a car racer.
It's a special day for the Parsons, a famous name in Tasmanian motorsport. David, a winner of Bathurst with Peter Brock in 1987. Despite that, the announcement still came as a surprise.
It was a hell of a shock to me. Not in a million years did I ever think this would be at all possible.
He had a special connection with his father, having driven his dad's old L34 Tirana.
It was just so fast compared to the cars that I've been used to driving.
The 2 took a lap in that very car today. Graham's 13-year career saw him compete in the Australian Touring Car Championship as well. He was a driver as fierce as they come.
He just loved driving cars real quick, and I've had a few moments with him on the road and stuff like that. My word, I tell you what, I used to hang on for dear life, and I was so pleased when it was stopped.
Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
Ambulance Tasmania is on the hunt for a new boss following the resignation of its acting chief executive. Health Minister Sarah Courtney says the department is looking locally as well as internationally to find a recruit for the top job. Matthew Eastham stepped down from the role last month. Applications for the position close next week. Reptile capture organisations say a lack of funding is leaving them short-handed. They say they're responding to a large number of calls due to wet conditions at the start of summer.
Snake catcher Ian Norton has spent decades responding to incidents. Lately, he's seeing more and more pets injured in the bush.
That's mainly, I guess, where encounters happen, where dogs are let off leash in reserves and the like, and snakes happen to be there.
Meanwhile, campers are also in danger, including one on a recent school camp.
They thought she might have had meningococcal. The wound looked so bad. And if it hadn't have been for the fact that someone discovered the snake in a tent when they were packing it up, she probably would have died.
He says his organisation, Reptile Rescue, is swamped by calls at the moment.
So we average about 45 calls a day. On a day back in January, that hot period we had, 94 calls in the day.
He says the organisation, run as a not-for-profit, is struggling to keep up with the volume.
We're manned by volunteer groups and retirees and anyone that's got time to act as in our network.
Those who call them also have no obligation to pay. Raising most of their funds through training programs, high costs are a burden for the organisation and its volunteers.
Eventually people just burn out or just find they can't afford to continue.
They're hoping government support can help and are in the process of developing a proposal to local councils in the state. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
And the purchase of a running wheelchair is helping junior participants with a disability get on the track. Thanks to a grant from the Australian Sports Foundation, the South Launceston Little Athletics Club has been able to buy its own chair, having previously borrowed one from organisation Just Like Jack.
I think it means that they feel included now and that they can actually participate and enjoy the events like all the other kids their age as well. And what we've found, particularly with our young athlete, is that all the athletes around him really enjoy having that happen.
Today was the first day of South Launceston's Centre Championships.
Yeah, there's a real build-up to today and there's a lot of excitement from both parents, spectators and athletes alike.
250 children competed at the day's events. Calm weather conditions didn't stop dozens of boats hitting the water today in a weekend sailing regatta on Hobart's eastern shore. Competitors now remaining hopeful even lighter winds predicted tomorrow won't impact races.
3, 2, 1, go!
The race is on.
Division 1 all clear, Division 1 all clear.
These boats slicing through the River Derwent as hundreds of sailors compete in various races, part of the 17th annual Crown Series Bellreeve Regatta.
Today we've got all day racing out on the Derwent, dinghies and keelboats. Hopefully they get some races in with the lack of wind.
Navigating their way around tight bends, some getting a little too close for comfort, then making their way to shore hours later. Many sailors saying the calm conditions proved a challenge.
Tell me about how you guys went today.
Well, this morning not very well at all because Innovator loves a breeze and there wasn't any. So yeah, we did finish the course.
Yeah, it was really challenging to get through the course without stuffing up like the time limit.
The wind lightly picking up, but set to ease again tomorrow.
If it's light, big and wide, so it gets pretty sticky to the water. So, but just hopefully for a bit of wind.
They're forecasting pretty light conditions right up until Monday, I think. So, as long as we've got enough to get them around the course and get a result, being able to present some prizes tomorrow afternoon, they'll all be happy.
The regatta continues tomorrow from Bellreeve Yacht Club. Ruby Kamane, 7 Tasmania News.
Hello, welcome back. 20 degrees today in Hobart. Launceston had the state's top temperature with 24 degrees, 21 in Burnie and Devonport hitting 22. Around Tasmania, 24 degrees at Cressy, 23 at Scottsdale and Friendly Beaches, 22 for Fingal, Bushy Park and Ouse. Low Head, Wynyard, Smithton, Grove and Campania all 21 with 19 degrees today on King Island. Mostly cloudy conditions across the west of the state today. Cloud increasing through the northeast later. Further out, low cloud visible over southern parts. A large cloud band extending from WA through the centre with isolated thunderstorm activity through the north. Tomorrow shows a weak high northwest of Tasmania with a cold front crossing the south later. Troughs lie over the top end of the country. Northwest to southwesterly winds 5 to 15 knots, turning southeast to northeasterly tomorrow, reaching 15 to 20 knots in the southeast, with seas between 1 and 2 metres. No warning, so onto the forecast. Mostly sunny in the south, 21 in Hobart, 24 at Richmond and 25 at Ouse. 26 degrees in Launceston with a few clouds, a sunny 22 for Devonport and 24 degrees at Deloraine. 23 and sunny in Burnie, 20 for Strawn, 19 degrees and a cloudy day at Curry, with 23 the top for St Helens, late showers and 22 at Swansea and 22 at Whitemark. And the UV remains very high right around the state. Looking further into the week, showers about the eastern and central parts on Monday, extending north later in the day. Tuesday brings showers for the north and the west, otherwise fine conditions, with a fine day on Wednesday with showers about the north. Taking a look now at the major centres tomorrow, 35 degrees in Perth, 27 for Adelaide and Brisbane, sunny and 25 in Canberra and Sydney, 22 for Melbourne with 32 in Cairns and Alice Springs. And there's a few clouds tonight in Hobart, 19 degrees, 22 in Launceston and a sunny 21 in Devonport. That's all from me, Tom.
Hope you've had a great evening here on 7 Tasmania and have a wonderful Saturday night. Good night.